Right, everybody, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. I finally have time to make a video about this free Xbox 360 that I garbage picked. Now, this Xbox 360 was sitting in a box at the side of the curb. It had all the cables, it had all the pieces to it, and heck, the owner was that decent enough to put all the pieces in a bag. And you will never believe what I found in that bag. I actually found a real IBM ThinkPad key. Now, there's a reason why this is awesome news. I have a redneck laptop. It's the modified one. The first one died, but I still have the other one with a missing power switch. And it's awesome to have a key with the word ThinkPad engraved on it. So now I have an official starter key for it. Doesn't get any sweeter than that. And you would never expect to find an IBM ThinkPad key in a Ziploc bag full of parts and screws and whatnot. That's awesome. So, get a double whammy. Get a free Xbox and an IBM ThinkPad key. So, what do I know about this? Well, what I do know is this is an old Xbox 360. It's a first generation one. There's many ways I can tell. The first one is... Well, anyway, the first one is the DVD tray, the plastic cover on it, the one that says 360. I can tell that this is an old one because the second generation has a silver plate on it. This one has only a white color plate. Another reason I can tell is this one doesn't have the HDMI connector port on it. It just has composite. Also, the layout of the motherboard, the heatsink for the GPU is massive. It goes from over here and expands to over here. So you can kind of get the idea of how big it is. So, yeah. So I can tell that this is a first generation Xbox, and I have no experience into fixing these or anything about that. But, you know, I can easily tell the difference between first generation and second generation. But I don't care if it doesn't have HDMI on it, you know? Like, I can live with that. You're probably wondering what's all wrong with it. Well, at first... Oh, shit. At first, when I got it, it was all in pieces. It still is, you know. It's not really put together fully yet, but I still have to do some work on it. But this is what happened when I got it. I turned it on. It kind of started up. It went to the Xbox logo, and as it was starting up, probably about halfway through it, it just froze. And it turned off, and it gave me 2 red rings and then 3. I turned it off, turned it back on, it just went to 3 rings. I went out to the source and picked up thermal compound. I dabbed it on the GPU and the CPU, and I put it all back together. Turned it on, and it loaded, and I was able to use it for 30 minutes. I created an avatar character, Well, first I formatted the hard drive. In order to do that, you have to look for the serial number on the Xbox itself, and then you can format. You're not allowed to format these hard drives without the serial number. I don't know why. What else? Then I created the avatar character. And that's when the Xbox turned off and went to 2 rings and then 3. So I tightened the screw on both heat sinks, turned the Xbox back on, only got 3 rings, the fans didn't spin up, nothing happened. It was just quiet. I loosened the screws, turned it on, the fans kicked in, and then it started working. I tried loading a video game on here. I borrowed my friend's controller and game, since this thing doesn't have any games or a controller. I think that's all they kept was the controller. Surprised they didn't keep the hard drive, though. Very surprising. After Grand Theft Auto was done loading, the person was in the car, like my character, and I started to drive. Probably about 5 seconds after the game loaded, it turned off. 2 red rings and then went to 3. I turned it off, turned it back on, got 3 rings. Turned it off again, turned it back on, 3 rings. So I said, screw this. I think I spent 3 days trying to work on this thing, and I've gotten nowhere. So I asked one of my friends at school, my friends with him in history class, and I asked him if he had any experiences with Xboxes, and he told me, oh hell yeah, I fix Xboxes practically to make money off of it. So I asked him if he could try to fix this for me, and I told him all I had was $15 in my wallet, and that's true. I only have $15. And he said, sure, he'll do it for $15, and as long as I can do him a small favor. And that's just computer repairs. Like, he specializes in Xbox 360s, like game consoles. And I specialize in computer repairs. I'm a noobist, or novice, or whatever you call it, at consoles and stuff. I don't know anything about it. I've never touched one of these things in my life, so you can kind of figure out how I'm feeling about this. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing half the time when I work on consoles. So he took the thing home, and whatever he did definitely made big changes to it. Like, I'm surprised. He told me that he's never seen an Xbox like this one before. He told me that it is a first generation, and I already knew that because I've compared this one to a second generation Xbox. My friend has a second generation, or no, my sister. Like, I have 3 sisters. I have one next to this room and one who lives at my grandma's house. Hers is a second generation, and I compare both of them and I can immediately tell that they're different. He told me that he's never seen an Xbox 360 that never had HDMI on it. Clearly this one doesn't have HDMI. Who cares? I don't care. But anyway, I don't know what he did though. He told me that the heat sink, which stretches out from here and goes to here, is pretty massive. And he had to straighten out something on it, and he did some soldering, or I don't know what he did exactly. I haven't even taken this thing apart. He told me that he has a few ideas on how to keep it from overheating. Like, this thing isn't fully fixed yet, though. It still has a problem. But here's what the difference was. Before, I would turn it on, use it for 30 minutes, and then it would overheat, and then turn off and give me 2 red rings and then 3. I would turn it off, turn it back on, and it would give me just 3 red rings. I'd probably wait 3 days or so, turn it back on. I still get 3 red rings. But what he did made an absolute difference. I could turn it on, use it for 30 minutes, and then it would shut off and just give me 2 red rings. Press the power button to turn it off, press it again to turn it on, and it would start up like normal. It won't give me 3 red rings anymore. So every time when it overheats and gives me the 2 red rings, I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on, and it works fine. It's better than what I did, but that still doesn't mean it's fixed. We still have to run a few more tests on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it so far. What are my plans with this? Well, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. I would like to plug it into a TV, but unfortunately the TV that I had died a couple minutes ago. I got a free DVD player from my grandmother, as she's not using this one any longer. And this one barely ever got used, so, you know, I don't have a remote for it, but I think I can program one. The TV was only a 13-inch tube TV. It wasn't a flat screen or anything like that. I was cleaning up underneath the piano bench, and I had to unplug the TV. Like, it was off. I unplugged it. After cleaning up, I plugged it back in, and I heard a loud hiss. Like, it was like a sss. That was it. I pressed the power button. Bastard wouldn't turn off, so I killed the fucking thing. I felt like shit at that point. But anyway, I think I can still plug it in though, like the Xbox. Just show you guys that it does work. Maybe not. Hold on, I think I can. I'm just gonna set the camera down. I won't be able to show you startup or anything like that. I don't have a monitor to plug it into. And that's why I would like to get that the LG Flattron monitor, the one that has the composite options. It beats having a giant TV in your room. Okay guys, I got it all hooked up now. Alright, so I'm gonna press the button. Oh, that's right. It's not plugged into a TV. But if I plug in the video cables, and then turn it on, voila, and that's what happens. So yeah, he obviously fixed it, but still needs to figure out why it overheats that fast. But anyway, thanks for watching everyone.